Here are my top 10 comics coming out for the week of July 29th, 2026. Hello everybody, welcome back. It is the Panel by Panel Comics YouTube channel with me, your host Jay. Like I mentioned, it is my top 10 comics time for the week of July 29th, 2026. But if you are new to the channel, please hit that like button and that subscribe button as well and turn on those notifications so you never miss any of my nearly daily comic book content. But before we get into my top 10, here are 4 notable comics coming out for the week that did not quite make my top 10, but I think are still worthy of a potential pull. We have X-Men issue number 34, Mortal Thor, issue number 13, Doom Quest, issue 3, and World's Finest 2026 annual edition, of course, a one-shot. A ton of new issue 1s coming out this week, so there are a plethora of them throughout my top 10. And kicking off the top 10, we have one of those annual slash one-shots. We have Detective Comics 2026 Annual 2026. This is going to be written by the pairs of Tom Taylor and Dave Wielgos, with the artist pairs of Nicola Scott and Fran Mariscal. This is also going to be guest starring Lobo, which I think is going to be absolutely fantastic. Batman and Lobo are going to be in this issue. Now, it does not appear that they are going to be teaming up. Instead, it says that Batman has been falsely accused of a political assassination on a distant planet, and someone has been sent to track down the Dark Knight and bring him into justice. Shocker. It's Lobo. So Lobo comes to Earth with a bounty on Batman, now in the clutches of the main man and being carted across the cosmos to be judged for a crime he did not commit. Batman must find a way to clear his name. This is going to be a very interesting issue, a fun idea for an annual. Batman, for some reason, getting accused of a political assassination is pretty interesting concept, and to have a bounty on his head, and Lobo, of course, being a bounty hunter, gonna go look for him, I think is a good idea. I think DC is just doing a great job at making things have a reason for it to be there. Like, this makes sense. This is a fun concept. Lobo, a bounty hunter, bounty on Batman's head. He's gonna go after him. It'll probably be a ton of fun. This book is 48 pages for the price of $6. It's gonna be fun. A cool little oversized issue, and I can't wait to read it. That's why it comes in at number 10. And coming in at number 9, we have another issue 1, The Dirt Beneath the Devil. This is issue 1, 32 pages for $5, written by Dan Panosian, and the artist is David Farashi on this title. It is a book from Mad Cave Studios. It says, in the dying days of the American frontier, a young woman journeys into the unknown to claim a legacy she never asked for and may not survive. June Buckley is going to be the main character of this title. Her father was a monster in life. In death, he may be something even worse. She gets summoned alongside a group of treacherous heirs. She is forced to traverse the same brutal path that built her father's empire. But the trail reveals more than hardship. It exposes the rot in every soul traveling beside her. And at the center of it all is Hendido, a creature bound to her father's past and perhaps is something far older and much more wicked. As the tension simmers and night closes in, June begins to understand her inheritance comes at a grisly price. Really interesting concept. Looks like it's going to be kind of mythological. Might have to deal with some demons, some devilishness, and I like the idea of a young woman who already knew her life was kind of corrupt and full of this evil, revealing it to herself after going through all of this. Now, will that corrupt her on the inside too, make her go to the bad side, or is she going to try to stake it out and come out on the good side? Or is the evilishness going to just take over her and maybe she dies? Can't wait to find out. But Dan Panosian, kind of a person that I'm looking to read a lot more of. Seems like he has a good amount of books coming out. Whether he's writing or an artist, he is an artist as well. But The Dirt Beneath the Devil comes in at number 9. Coming in at number 8, we have the conclusion to The Dead by Daylight, The Hillbilly, issue number 4, 32 pages for $5. This series has been written by Derek Friedholz and the art done by Dean Coates, or Kotz. Not quite sure how to pronounce that. But this is the hillbilly taking his revenge. Free from his shackles, armed with his faithful hammer, the man called Boy wrecks a violent trail of destruction across Wild Wind across Coldwind Farms. Meanwhile, Officer Hollis seeks his own reckoning, but as blood rains, the fog rolls in. Death is not an escape, and this is only the beginning of their trials. This is just an origin story for the hillbilly character. If you are interested in Dead by Daylight lore, this has been a fantastic book. I would highly recommend the trade that comes out from this from Titan Comics. It's been fun. You get to really sympathize with the character of the hillbilly after realizing what he experienced throughout his, I guess, childhood. No clue how old the hillbilly character is, but he's been basically kept as a slave for his family to do all these evil and just horrendous things, kill these animals that he didn't want to, and he's just been told what to do his entire life, and now he's free and he seeks revenge on basically the world. So we'll see how that concludes here in issue number 4. Coming in at number 7 on my top 10 is another issue 1 and a one-shot, Justice League Night Vision Special. This is 48 pages for $6, written by Mark Waid and Joshua Williamson, with the art done by Miguel Mendonça. A new danger to the DCU forces Batman and Lex Luthor to team up. Not Superman and Lex, but Batman and Lex. Two of the smartest people in the DCU. I mean, Batman not nearly as smart as Lex Luthor, but still very intelligent. The Justice League has offered a number of villains amnesty, allowing them to prove they're on the side of the angels. That's kind of with the Justice League Unlimited side of things, if you haven't been reading that. I haven't personally, so this is kind of different and kind of new, I guess. But what they didn't see coming was the void that would leave in the world of supervillains. Batman and Lex Luthor must work together to investigate a JL villain, Justice League villain, who wants to fill that void, capitalizing on the shifting priorities and the visions of the future that the DC Universe's champions saw at the end of DCKO. Can Batman and Lex set aside their differences to stop them? This critical issue in the All-In saga sets up new threats for the Justice League's heroes and villains, which that last line alone is a huge reason for why you need to get this issue. It is literally instrumental to the All-In saga. And who's going to fill that void with all these villains trying to become heroes? Who are going to be the next big bad villains in this DCU? And I love the idea of introducing new villains. Feels like forever since DCU has had a new big bad that isn't Lex Luthor, Darkseid, Ra's al Ghul. I mean, so many different villains, but they're all legacy villains. They need a new fresh set of villains for this new generation of comic buyers or comic collectors that are getting into the space, because I feel like as a whole the comic book industry is in a boom. So introduce some new characters that they can grow up with. I think it's a great idea, and you kind of see it happening with Marvel with Daredevil's new villains coming in, but outside of that there's not a whole lot of great Marvel villains that have been introduced in recent years, at least in my opinion. But moving on to the next number on my list, this is number 6, Queen in Black, Defenders of Light and Dark. This is issue 1, 32 pages for $5, written by Tom Waltz. The art is done by Zay Carlos. Now, this is a tie-in book for the overall Queen in Black event going on at Marvel. It's like the Symbiote Summer event. And this is going to be Beta Ray Bill as the main character, which is why I am really picking up this title. Love Beta Ray Bill, love his series with Daniel Warren Johnson. Such a great book, highly recommend you go in to get that. But this is Beta Ray Bill, the only hero in Midgard who remembers Hela, the goddess of death. But does that mean he and his team can counter a Queen in Black? Meanwhile, Tony Stark's all-new black metal armor is the ultimate weapon against Null, god of the void, but does he have command of his own defense squad? This all leads to the mission that'll decide the outcome of the Queen in Black saga. So a very important series going alongside the Queen in Black event. Now, this is going to be a make or break for me. If I don't like this and I don't like Queen in Black issue 1, I am not going to follow it, because overall I like the symbiotes, but it feels like they're making it way too big than what it really should be. And I understand you want to capitalize on the success of Venom and these different symbiote characters, but for me it's just becoming too much, and this Queen in Black event is really make or break for, in my opinion, the symbiote side of Marvel outside of Venom. But I'm interested. I like Beta Ray Bill. We'll see if Tom Waltz can get it done here in issue 1. Now, kicking off the top 5, we have Alias Red Band, issue number 5, 32 pages for $5, the finale to this Red Band series from Marvel, written by Sam Humphries, art done by Geraldo Borges. This is A Dance with the Devil. Jessica and Typhoid Mary are closer than ever to capture the mysterious boss, unleashing demons upon Hell's Kitchen, which has been the overall story going on here in Jessica Jones Alias. She's trying to be a PI, but that's building some tension alongside her and Luke Cage, who is the current mayor of New York. And Jessica can't technically be a PI or else she'll get in a bunch of trouble. She got sent to jail, broke out of jail, is back in a trial, and that's kind of been the story running alongside this series. Basically the trial has been running alongside the story where Jessica and Typhoid Mary are trying to capture this boss character. But can they unmask the monster before Jessica's world implodes? Who knows? But I can't wait to read it here in issue 5. It's been a fun series. Red Band, so there is a lot of cursing and gore and blood, so if not child friendly unless you're an adult that can allow your child to read that type of stuff. But it comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we do have Queen in Black issue number 1. This is 56 pages for $8. You're going to have Al Ewing writing this title alongside the artist pair of Iban Coelho, I believe that's how I say it, Coelho. Also, it says that Zay Carlos is credited with some art pages in this. Hell on Earth. On the farthest edges of the solar system, Null, god of the void, builds a brand new army to destroy Earth, but Hela of Asgard might have gotten there first. As she makes planetfall with a version of the galaxy's deadliest symbiotes, two of the most powerful evils in the galaxy are at war. And the son of Venom is caught right in the middle. Of course, Dylan Brock. Eddie Brock is kind of been sidelined because of the, I forget what the event was kind of called now, because that was the Torment events. Can't quite remember what it was called. But anyways, this is also going to be blind bagged. So I'm getting one of those. I think I'm getting the Peach Momoko cover because it looks amazing. Peach Momoko is one of my favorite artists, especially being tied to Marvel right now. But it says that there's going to be Noel Hela, MJ Venom, Beta Ray Bill, Hercules in this issue, Iron Man, Nova, Sorcerer Supreme, Wanda Maximoff, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, a boatload of heroes and villains in this issue. And yet again, like I said, with the Defenders of Light and Dark, if this issue 1 does not hit, I will but I will drop the title because I don't necessarily need to see this through, because Marvel is having 3 events potentially go alongside each other with DNX, Queen in Black, and Avengers Armageddon. It's just too much at once. I think they're just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what hits. And so far, none of it has hit too great for me with Avengers Armageddon and Queen in Black. We'll see how that goes, and then we'll eventually see how DNX goes. But Queen in Black, still highly anticipated for it. That's why it comes in number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have Geiger issue number 24, 32 pages for $4. This is Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, of course, as the writer and the artist. Well, Jeff Johns doing the writing, Gary Frank doing the art. The road to Geiger's shocking anniversary issue starts here. When the glowing man comes face to face with an army of Junkyard Joes, he realizes the terrifying truth. These soldiers weren't built for war. They were built to destroy nations, and even the man of mass destruction might not be able to stop them. All this plus Redcoat, supposed to be in this issue, probably going to be like a last second, I guess, crossover, if you want to call it a crossover. We'll see how that goes. It seems like they've kind of been slowly saying that he's in this timeline with Geiger. He's lived this far so long. I mean, he is immortal, to be fair, but Geiger, Junkyard Joe getting unleashed in this issue, as well as all the other Junkyard Joes that are coming for Geiger, because the US government is looking for their Junkyard Joe, looking for their robot that can take over nations. Like it says, this is one of the best books going right now in all of comics, across the big 2, all of independent publishers. Ghost Machine in the Unnamed Universe has been fantastic from start to current day. Highly recommend you guys picking up the trades, catching up if you want, but Geiger is probably the place to start for anybody interested in the Unnamed Universe. Kicking off the top two, we have Feral, issue 25, a chunky sized anniversary issue. We're gonna have Feral and the Stray Dogs actually team up in this issue, finally. After they've been kind of going back and forth with each other, like half the story is Feral, half the story is the Stray Dogs. They're finally going to do a huge anniversary issue. 40 pages for $5. The great pair of Tony Fleeks and Tony Rodriguez and Trish Forstner doing this series. Trish Forstner, more known for doing the art on the Feral series. I believe Tony Rodriguez did the Stray Dogs, if I'm not mistaken. Not quite sure, but anyways, this is the Feral Cats meeting the Stray Dogs. The team up you never thought would happen is here. They are trying to be, well, they were imprisoned by the CDC. Now they're trying to escape, get out of this middle school where all these feral cats and feral dogs have been kept because they're doing these experiments on them, trying to make sure that they can find a cure for all the rabies that is going on in this universe. But who's gonna live? Who's gonna die? There's gonna be somebody huge and very important in this issue dying. You can almost guarantee it. Whether it's going to be a member of the dogs or a member of the cats, or maybe one of both, which I think would make the most sense. Can't wait to see who's going to live, who's going to die, how are they going to make it out here in Feral issue 25. You got to start picking this book up. It is fantastic. But it did not come in at number one. Instead, that goes into one of the most highly anticipated issues maybe of the year. Superman 2026 Annual, Year 1000. Of course, this is a one-shot. 48 pages, $6. Joshua Williamson is the writer. Eddie Burrows and Yasmin Putri are the artist pair on this issue. 48 pages, $6. I mean, that's a steal in my opinion. But this is going to be what happened to Superman at the end of DCKO. At the end of DCKO, we didn't know what happened to him. He just wasn't there no more. Darkseid got sent to the Absolute Universe. But what happened to Superman? This is going to answer all those questions. What happened to the Omega Champion, Superman? And what happened when he got these powers of an actual god? What happened to Apocalypse? What happened to the Heart of Apocalypse, Darkseid? But this is literally the story of where he went can finally be told. Leaving a trail of death and disaster in their wake, including the Legion of Superheroes with Darkseid and his Legion. Superman is using Time Trapper's powers to heal the future and correct the damage that has been done, but Superman's godlike powers are fading fast and he may become lost at the end of time. Is this going to bring Superman back to the main title? Who knows? I kind of presume it will. But what happens? How did he get there? And what mistakes is he possibly going to make in this issue? We know he's human. Some bad things are going to happen. He's going to mess up, but he's trying his best to right the wrongs that could potentially happen in the future. And I just want to know what has been going on since the end of DCKO. Where has Superman been? Can't wait to find out this new week. But guys, if you made it this far to the end of the video, you might as well give that button a like and hit that subscribe button. While you're there, ring the bell, turn on those notifications for nearly daily comic book content. But guys, keep remembering to read those comics panel by panel. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for new comic book day. Have a great rest of your day.